Hello everybody, what is going on? I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to fly aircraft in Planetside 2. You might want to start with looking at your controls, making sure everything's bound. I had a friend who for some reason some of his controls were unbound. All the ones that I don't have bound, I don't think you really need. Turn left, turn right. I don't have these bound, however, I can turn left and right. So I'm assuming that this is just a glitch. Not exactly sure. They're under strafe, but in an aircraft, strafe seems to work perfectly fine. What else? These are kind of important. I see a lot of people not knowing how to ascend and descend. It's kind of pretty common sense if you're landing or taking off. These are pretty useful. Ugh, I keep accidentally clicking. So I'm gonna go off taking off and landing first, and then into flying more. Also, I believe there is a sensitivity for mouse sensitivity. There we go. For vehicle sensitivity, you may want to turn it up if you're flying an aircraft, because if you're doing a dogfight, it's pretty useful to be able to turn more. Not necessarily faster, but the slower you can move your mouse and still maintain a turn, the more that you can turn it while you're actually in the turning maneuver. Anyway, I'm going to go to a vehicle pad. I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are. Unfortunately, I had a corrupt fraps file. No big deal. Basically, when you spawn your aircraft, this is the first one, by the way, the one-man one. When you spawn it, it has you started way up in the air, already moving, so that's really, really great if you want to get to your destination really fast. Now, anyway, as you can see, I had noobs damaging my aircraft, but no big deal. So, takeoff is pretty simple. Just hit the spacebar to go up, and the C key helps you go down. So, there we go. Pretty simple. Right now, I'm using the D key to help me turn. This is if you're in hover mode. It's really useful. You can also use it when you're not in hover mode, but it's not as useful. You probably want to make a quicker turn, so what you're going to do is go like this. Basically just a nice sweep motion with your mouse. Helps you turn a little bit. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and try and land on one of these pads up here. So we're going to decelerate a little bit. And a little bit of spacebar. And up a little bit more. We're going to hover right above it and hit the C. There we go. So, pretty simple. Let's go back up. Okay, now back into hover mode. Now, push T. This is the default mode, it's first person. Let's say you have a target you want to shoot right there. Holding the decelerate button, hitting the spacebar, and also move back and forth. Let's assume you have a target there. You can pretty much aim all you want. I'm just tapping the spacebar to keep my altitude. So if you had an infantry you're trying to shoot, or possibly a one of those spawner things that people spawn on, that's pretty much what you're going to want to do. Pretty simple. Now I'm going to go back into the outer view so you can see what's going on. This is the view that you're going to be using if you're traveling or anything like that. As soon as you enter a dogfight, immediately go into first person. Actually, I guess you can go into first person after you lock onto him and you're behind him. So, apparently the plus and minus increase your thrusters. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm pretty sure this also works the same way as just hitting the W key, but who knows. So, anyway, right now, I'm going to go into first person. To turn, basically it's as if you're flying up. If you're flying up and you want to go, if you're flying straight, you want to go up, just move your mouse up. And the same concept is for turning. Just angle your plane like so, and pull your mouse up. Pretty simple. Now for an outer view. There we go. Nice simple turn. Shift is thrusters. So if you want to go somewhere nice and fast, there is your sprint key for aircraft, basically. Let's assume you're in a dogfight. You need to know some basic maneuvers on how to get behind them. The key is try and stay behind them. If you see them, get behind them, and don't let them go back behind you. Once they get behind you, it's a hell of a lot more difficult. If they're a decent dogfighter, it's much more difficult to shake them off than if you start off behind them. So just keep that in mind. Can't really think of much else I really need to say. I'm gonna go ahead and land one more time. Gonna decelerate just a little bit before I get to where I need to be. There we go. Hit the spacebar just a little bit. Angle my nose up. And nice and slow. Oh, I think I need to go forward a bit. And there we go. Perfect. Well, unfortunately my game crashed, so I didn't get to show a dogfight or anything. I've noticed that Fraps tends to not work well with games, but oh well. This is the second aircraft. This one's going to be a little bit easier to kind of hover around and stuff, but it's not exactly a high-speed dogfighter or anything like that, so I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up. And I'm going to push T to go into the second view. As you can see, this one hovers a lot better than the other one. I'm not pushing anything right now. And here I am just kind of strafing back and forth. Push shift to gain a little bit more air. And here's a turn. Just the D and the A keys. Although it does say strafe, it actually is pretty much just a turn. We're going to angle the mouse down, push space as before, making you go forward a little bit. If you want to just stay in hover mode, don't even bother hitting the W key. You can pretty much just do everything that you need to do without even hitting it. Now we're going to go back a little bit. And a simple turn. And then push the back key to go back into hover mode. Oh, I don't want to land here. Let's go forward a little bit. Hit the D again, back into hover mode. And hit C. Go down nice and slow. There we go. Push the F keys to change what spot you're in. Hello, I see you. And he's gonna run into me, because this is the newbie area. And we're gonna take off. And remember, if you're gonna be shooting at someone, try to always be in this view so you know what you're shooting at. Anyway, let's go for a little bit more flying maneuvers. This one's a little bit annoying to fly compared to the other one. It's a lot clunkier, but no big deal. You'll get used to it. You can't exactly maneuver it like you can with the other one, but it's a lot easier to fulfill its role. It's pretty much just a multi-man gunship. This one isn't exactly a dogfighter. If you're going to be going solo, your best plane to pick is going to be the first one. This one is only going to be used if you have a crew. So keep that in mind. So that being said, I'm going to try and cover the hovering maneuvers a little bit better. Okay. And let's say you want to turn around in hover mode. Holding the back key and the turn key right now. You're giving your tail gunner a pretty good view of what's going on behind you. Don't mind my mouse sensitivity. As I said, it's a little bit, my mouse is being a little bit weird lately, so. Okay, let's try and land on this airstrip. Okay, someone's shooting at me, and it's probably a friendly. But, meh. Let's try and land right here on this airstrip. Go forward a little bit. And there we go. Alright, so that didn't go too well. Apparently, F-12 is one of the passenger seats in the Galaxy, which happens to be what my Fraps is bound to. So as soon as I started up the Galaxy, I pretty much just crashed and died. So anyway, I'm using a different race now, no big deal, they're pretty much the same. I'm gonna go ahead and spawn it. I've never actually flown one before, but I'm sure it's pretty simple. Yeah, it seems pretty much the same. I don't see any different concepts. Go into hover mode. Go ahead, go forward a little bit. And go down to land. Yeah, it's pretty simple. These are definitely easy to drive. The Galaxy doesn't actually have a gunner for yourself. You don't get to shoot as the driver. However, if you are a complete beast, you can switch to the gunner and then back to the driver mid-flight. Only if you're a complete beast, though. So anyway, this one's pretty slow, pretty bulky, pretty tanky in general, actually. So let's go ahead and try and land on this little whatever the hell this is. And rough landing. There we go, that's better. Anyway, that's my video. Hopefully you guys liked it and found it useful. If you did, please like the video and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Anyway, that's all I really have to say. Peace.